Hello everyone, and welcome to a Whimsy on the Weekend video. I had planned to show you a nice unboxing in the midst of my go get the mail writing break. And I did. I recorded a really nice unboxing video. This great open box. It was nice because every layer was so carefully done. I have to say, this bookseller really took time in their packaging. By the way, Indie Library Bookstore, I believe is the name, over with Abe Books. Was really happy. I was also really happy with what was inside. And then someone wanted attention. Not just a little. She wanted all the attention. So I had CAT and book and camera and everything go everywhere. Book is fine. Camera phone is fine. She's fine. Me really liked that video. And I'm not in the mood to sit and edit today, so we're gonna start over. Yes. Not wine, just tea. Okay, so what I ordered and what came is a copy of Peterson's magazine from 1862. Now, I was expecting a very damaged, very decimated edition. The description said the front cover was missing, said the spine was missing, said some pages from December were missing. So I was picturing something in pretty bad shape. I am so pleased that really that's all that's wrong with it. I know that seems like a lot, but for the reason that I want this worked out really well. Yes, the cover's missing. Yes, the spine is missing. And I've yet to find the missing pages. But the rest of this book is in really good shape. The pages are very clear, with the exception of some pages that were bookmarked and have some discoloration. And it's the kind of discoloration that happens from putting in a bookmark, even a blank piece of paper. There is some acid transference. I'm not even sure if that's the right chemical way of saying it. I did not take classes in that, so maybe one of my curator friends that are watching might be able to clarify. But if you take a piece of paper that's not acid-free and you use that as a bookmark in an older book or for an extended period of time, it can cause discoloration. And that's what did happen on a few fashion plates. Because the fashion plates are intact. I'm really happy with that. So that gets to the why. Why did I order a copy that's damaged? Pretty much it comes down to that's the copy that I could afford right now. I'm working on writing a few things. I'm kind of in a writing mode, which is really a catch-up mode. I've had several writing projects going for a while now. Actually, they've just been sitting on hold through most of the pandemic because I've not been in the mood to really write that kind of directions. So one of them, of course, was the wadded hood pattern, sorry. And that's been an ongoing multi-year project, so I guess I can't really blame it just on the pandemic. But that one grew from being a pattern to the full workbook, which, no. Go back. So I did finish that, and the workbook is available over in my Etsy shop. I'm realizing the video that I deleted had the beautiful description of what happened there. So the wadded hood pattern become workbook went from being what I thought was going to be a simple set of directions to a 53-page full color workbook. And it has not only directions, but the first section is an in-depth look at a half dozen pieces from my collection. So original wadded hoods, looking at the photographs up close of the construction and the techniques that are used, the materials that are used. And then the second section is not just a single set of patterns with directions, but it's multiple options for each component of the hood. So a couple different brim styles and a couple different crown styles and then 2 different bevel layer curtain styles that can be used almost interchangeably to create a number of different wadded hoods. And each of these components are taken directly from originals. So instead of a single pattern, that publication really did become the workbook. And I'm rather proud of it. I got to the end of it, decided it was done. It was time to hit, the button. It's that point where you just can't look at this whole thing over and over and over again because you're not going to make anything that's a successful change. Hit the button and I was just tired. I didn't even have the energy left to really celebrate. But at some point, I will celebrate that I actually got that done. My bag is sticking to my arm. So that brings us to this one here. Another small publication. And I've yet to decide if this is going to go up in the Etsy shop or if it's just going to go directly on the blog. Because it is actually a collaboration with someone else, I feel a little funny about putting a price tag on it. That's why I'm leaning towards just putting it in the blog. And on the flip side of that, I have put some work into it, and now I've put in the expense of this particular piece here. So I kind of would like to recoup some of that. So I'm really stuck. But anyway, pardon me. The book and the illustrations. So I needed a few illustrations for that particular publication. I really thought that I had 1862 Peterson's magazine sitting in with all of the others. I have Godey's. I don't have Peterson's. So I was like, need to quickly get one ordered. And to my surprise, some of these volumes have gone up in price. And frankly, I don't have the money right now to spend $100, $150, $200 on a single volume because I need 2 illustrations. 2, 3. So, poked around. I found one seller that was selling for $11.99 and $14.99 plus shipping single sheets of Peterson's, which means I would have had to make 3 separate purchases to get the single sheets for what I needed. Wasn't gonna work. Hop over to 8 Books, looking, and I found one that was affordable, roughly the price of a pizza. The description said that there was no cover, no spine, and there were some pages missing from December. Like, okay, I think I'm good. And I took a chance. Honestly, I thought this would arrive with a lot of discoloration and a lot of worn, torn pages, and that's simply not the case. So I'm very, very pleased with this. Now let me pan down for you all. Come on, little camera. All right, I think that's about as best we're gonna do. I rotated this around after the incident. And here you can have an idea. The pages are nice and clear. Index, or the contents, is available here in the front. These first few pages are loose. Actually, I'm going to lay these down. Only loose ones. Actually, the material that was originally used in the binding is kind of interesting. It looks like an agricultural magazine was used. But here is Peterson's 62. For those of you watching that don't know, magazines like Peterson's magazine and Godey's Ladies Book came out monthly. They were women's publications. Each one would have a volume and a number, and they were what, a half-inch thick, give or take, half-inch. And at the end of the year, you could have them bound. And for the most part, they're either bound in half years, which are a single volume, or a full year, which is 2 volumes. There's a new story of Cinderella. And that's what this is. This is a full year with 2 volumes. For the most part, Peterson's came with several stories, some of them short stories, some of them serials, which means they went on for several months. Okay. The Jacobite's Daughter is actually annotated in the front on what is now the quote-unquote cover. So this is what I believe this one was saved for by this particular woman. You'll also find, let's go back, you'll find some poetry. There's some embroidery. Some of these will have a little architecture. So this is an example of a little cottage with a layout diagram. And then we get into clothing and fashion. Right? Sometimes you'll have little patterns that are scaled. And actually, I don't know if I even want to say scaled. Because oftentimes you'll find that they aren't really true to scale. There'll be some measurements, but that's about it. And then some little projects. So this is a little ornamental bracket. There's some knitting. Here's the little Red Riding Hood. Children's fashion, some more embroidery, a toilet cushion, a sofa cushion, a bookmark, basket. So this is the type of stuff you are going to find in a ladies' magazine. Music, book reviews, amusements, health department, receipts, which actually means recipes. Here are the fashions for January, because there are fashion plates, and they usually put the fashion plates at the beginning of the numbers for each edition for Godey's, and then looks like this is set with Peterson's at the end. So this is a nice little artistic illustration, followed by a color fashion plate. And here we can see some of the things that happen from paper discoloration. So this tissue paper has left some discoloration here. Alright. And then a bookmark, I don't know if you can see this, has left some discoloration here. And at some point, each of the fashion illustrations, it looks like, had a type of paper bookmark, because that discoloration is found on most of them. And this one is lovely because it does have some of the fold-out illustrations intact. And these do not have fold damage from the ones that I've looked at. I find that pretty impressive, because some of the first things to get damaged or extracted from a volume are those color plates, the fashion plates, and then the fold-out plates. So this is music for a dance, a polka. I actually don't know much about music or anything. And of course some millinery, there's some bonnets. And we're on to the next month. I can just flip through in chunks to show you the rest of the volume. But you can see the pages are in so much better condition than I was picturing. I'm so happy with this. What is actually really cute, some of the folds from dog-eared bookmarks are, you can see them in a few spots. There was a little one. I did find one that was in place. There is a little wooden stick. I think that's right around March or April. There are some marks on one of the contents pages. So even though this is in lovely condition, in its original, here's that wooden piece right here. You can see more of that discoloration. I was going to say, even when it was originally used, it was used. So she did read this. She did make notes. Here's one of the dog ears. It was in there at some point. I almost feel guilty just like bare hand flip through really quick. But honestly, these pages are nice and supple. When I did the initial video, I spelled the book. And yeah, it's still, I've got to say, there's no must, there's no basement, there's no damp. And at the same time, it's not overly dry, which I think is impressive. This is probably one of the most tis-colored pages, but that's simply because there's so much dye in this hand screen diagram. And the hand screen, for those that don't know, would likely have been for protecting the face from the fire. So if you were sitting by the fire warming your feet, your unprotected, unclothed face would be susceptible to that heat. So a hand screen could go between your face and the fire. Alright, so I've bantered on long enough. Even though you didn't get to see the actual unboxing, I hope you enjoyed a look at my new little volume here. It's kind of funny, I have much better volumes in the back, and I'm showing you the, well, not the most damaged. I think my most damaged is Godey's 1866. And I guess I can't say damaged. It simply wasn't bound. It's all loose. So here you can see the Jacobite's daughter, and then in parentheses, through the year. Oh, okay, so that means that it goes through the year. So that's a little note that she left there. The remaining cover is leather, and there is some residue. Oh, you can see, let's go this way. This is some of the residue from the leather. Otherwise, like I said, I'm very, very pleased with my little take a risk, spend a little purchase. Thank you. Let's go with this. That's better. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Talk with you all soon. Bye-bye.